Hello and welcome to this week's episode of John's Garage. This week we're in a very loud Honda Civic Coupe, and this is the 5th generation of the Honda Civic. So let's get into it. Okay, so you're very welcome along to this week's episode. So, what are we doing? I'm getting lights flashed and waves off of everybody. People love the 5th generation Civic, it seems. Anyway, we are here driving this incredibly rare car. And why do I think this is an incredibly rare car? Well, I'm going to tell you. People my age bought these cheap when they were young and they drove them into the ground. Then we rebuilt them, then we modified them, then we crashed them again, and then we rebuilt them again and sold them to somebody else who just repeated that process of modding it, damaging it, rebuilding it until it could no longer be rebuilt, or in some cases until the guards came along and just took the bloody car off you. Okay, anyway, incredibly rare that this car is in as original of condition as it is. Now, it's not totally original. I'll explain why in a moment. But it's the paintwork is original, the bodywork is original. The owner tells me it's never been crashed, it's never been repaired. 1 or 2 little paint corrections done on it, but that's it. Interior wise, we still have the original goddamn radio. Okay, that was the first thing any owner of these got rid of, was chuck the radio out. Want a CD player, want Bluetooth, I want to be able to plug my USB in with my MP3s, and so on and so forth. Okay, now I did say this car isn't 100% original, so what isn't original in here? Well, let's have a chat about that. Okay, so there are 3 major modifications to speak of. Number 1, and most important of them, this car originally came from the factory with an automatic gearbox. Wasn't a great auto, it was slow, it zapped power, it's pretty bloody joyless. Anyway, that has been binned by a previous owner and they fitted the 5-speed manual gearbox, which completely transforms this car. Number 2 is the exhaust. It's loud, okay? I don't know if the microphone's going to pick it up, but trust me, it's bloody loud, okay? Next up that isn't original, okay, is the suspension. This car is driving on coilovers, they're quite solid. And that's the choice of the owner. They fitted them, they're happy enough with them, and that's it. Okay, it does, I suppose, give you a little bit more fun as you're driving it, but they're the only parts that aren't original. Now, what is so incredibly special about a car like this? Well, I know what you're thinking. You're going to say VTEC kicks in, yo. You'd be wrong, okay? This car is not a VTEC engine car. It is a 1.5 litre, and it comes with a little over 100 horsepower, about 103 horsepower to be exact. So I know what you're thinking. That's no fun. There's no VTEC, it's a 1.5. Where's the fun? The fun is in the fact that this car is incredibly light. It's incredibly agile, okay? Which means that the power to weight ratio is actually pretty good. The chassis is excellent, okay? The chassis of this car is absolutely excellent. It is spot on. And in the right hands, and I would say on Irish roads, okay, you can get a lot of performance out of these cars. You have to remember, this is for my international viewers, I'm speaking about this. Irish roads are small, they're narrow, they're poorly surfaced. There isn't a huge amount of scope to drive fast. So what you actually want to do is hold speed through bends, and this car can do it. And some of those bends can be quite tight. Now that's not to say that this car is a slouch. It is absolutely not a slouch. It is quite a fast car in its own right, okay? Because it's so light, that 1.5 litre 16 valve engine can work quite hard and you can extract quite good performance out of it. Now I just want to say as well, there's a little dingling noise coming on there. The owner has a dash cam fitted. I am not turning it off, and just in case something goes wrong, but that when it activates is giving a little bit of a jingling noise as it turns on. As I say, the handling of the car is quite sweet. The steering is lovely and direct, really gives you confidence. There's that dingle again, really gives you confidence in the bends, and it's pin sharp. There is no slack in this steering, okay? Now, it's important to remember as well that this is a family car. This is essentially a cheap, compact family car from the mid-1990s, built from the early 1990s to the mid-1990s. We're talking like the original, well, I suppose Japan's version of the Golf, for a better word. You don't get fun in a Golf anymore unless you're buying a Golf R. Even the GTI is a bit placid. And bear in mind, folks, a Golf R, you can pay 80,000-90,000 euro for one of them here in Ireland. That's insane. Whereas for a fraction of the cost, you could have something like this that at legal speeds give you loads of fun. going to shift up that noise. That exhaust is bloody loud. Now, the other thing that you get with this is complete and utter simplicity. There is loads of space underneath the bonnet where you can work on the engine, you can improve it, you can service it, you can fix things, you can mod it, you can do all those silly things that when you're 17 you think makes you an absolute god to women. Other things, now for the mid-1990s this car was quite well spec'd. You have a tilt-slide sunroof and the control is down here by your right, so the centre button tilts it, top button closes it, and the bottom button slides it back, but I'm going to close it just for now, okay? Otherwise it'll interfere with the sound for you guys. This car has a couple of really rare and unusual options still fitted from the factory, and I'm being very tongue-in-cheek when I say that. So the original radio was still fitted. That is incredibly rare because that was always the first thing people took out, chucked in the bin. I've already mentioned that. Next up, the original steering wheel is still fitted. They were chucked in the bin. You got some naff 3-spoke thing that said Nardi or something, Momo maybe, or something silly like that, and looked really gaudy, but you thought it impressed the women and you thought it added to the driving pleasure, but it didn't do any of that stuff, okay? It just looked naff. Anyway, what else? We have the original seats. There isn't bucket seats fitted, okay? And the other thing the owner has, and the owner showed me, which I was actually really impressed by, they have the original 13-inch alloy wheels that would have been fitted to this car from the factory. They still have them. They're in good condition, but they're like little donuts. They look like roller casters or casters on a shopping trolley underneath the car, and they just said, nah, not fitting those. But what they did fit, and fingers crossed I say this right, they have fat 5-spoke alloy wheels, and they're original Honda ones. They say they're quite rare, quite valuable. I'll take their word on that. I don't know anything about them, but they look great on this car. They look really, really good. So they're the fat 5-spoke Honda alloys. They look great underneath it, and they really, really set off the beautiful color. And I'm going to say it's beautiful. I love this color. This color stands out in a sea of grey, black, and white cars, which you now get in the road. This color is gorgeous. Now, not entirely sure. I don't want to say it's pink. I don't want to say it's purple, but it's a little bit between the two, okay? Fits in between the two. And of course, now I am forgetting that the indicators and wipers are on the correct side of this car for a right-hand drive vehicle. So in a right-hand drive vehicle, the wipers should be on the left-hand side and the indicators and lights on the right. Sorry, the wipers should be on the left-hand side and the indicators and lights on the right-hand side. And I'm just going to do a little bit of a U-turn here, but we're all safe and we're clear both sides for doing it. Okay, and I'm going to let this, well, no, we'll just go for it. There's a car coming behind me, but he can stay behind me. It's only a cheapy Volkswagen anyway. As you can see, I'm having a little bit of fun, but again, I'm at legal speeds, okay? I haven't gone past legal speed, but there's loads of fun to be had in this car. A couple of things I absolutely love in here. I love the way the controls for the clock are hidden behind this little flap panel. Very handy when the hour changes. The hour changed 3 weeks ago when I'm filming this, and unfortunately, I haven't been able to figure out in my Peugeot 308 how on earth to change the bloody clock, and I'm refusing to look in the manual because I always feel these things should be simple. I should be able to see it, I should be able to figure it out, but I can't. And of course, even more modern cars, then you have the touchscreen, you have to figure out all of that different stuff. Actually, speaking of touchscreens and how difficult stuff has become, I'm going to adjust my climate control system. Well, there's no air can fitted here, but it's still a climate control system. Let's see, we'll just turn the fan up. Simple, we just slide the control. I'm feeling a little cold, so we'll just slide that along, and I would like all of the air to go towards the windscreen demister, and that's it. I just press that button and it's done. We'll just reset all that stuff. But you don't get controls like that in a modern car. They want you to go into a menu, they want you to go into an option, they want you to see a brand name of something silly, and then they'll allow you to do your adjustments. Fog light switch up here, rear window demister there, and of course, as I said, controls for the sunroof over here, and electric mirrors are also here to the right hand side. You can really feel that bumping of the suspension, but then that beautiful steering really gives you confidence in the car. Now, in the back, there is space for 4 adults in this car, 2 up front, 2 in the rear, and there is also a center seat lap belt as well. Now, was I not just driving a Honda Civic? What? Sorry folks, the camera actually died on me during that video, and I've had to finish the wrap up of it in an Opel OPC Astra, okay, Opel Performance Center. Now, listen, thank you so much to the owner of the Honda Civic for allowing me to take it out, for driving it. Thank you so much to you for following along and for viewing it. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please take that opportunity to do so, because guess what, folks? I'm going to be reviewing an Opel Astra OPC soon enough, so I want you to enjoy that video, okay? Listen, adios for now, folks. Talk to you again. Bye-bye.